This week we will still be focused on the physical science goal. However, we will put more focus on Objective 2, which is to explain the relationship between visible light, the electromagnetic spectrum, and sight. And that is a typo. It should not say visible light again. It should say sight. The learner will be able to identify and label the parts of the eye and their functions. In addition, understand that the electromagnetic spectrum consists of visible light and is arranged according to wavelengths. Your assignment is to read each section in the Energy and Works book and write a summary in your own words. You will also need to make a real-life connection to each section so that I may assess your level of understanding. As always, make a list of questions you have or things you don't understand and be ready to ask in class tomorrow. You may also make a list of things that you really understood so that you may share with the class and be able to help someone who may not understand. The main points you should have gotten from Section 1 are that light energy is important for everyday living. Without light energy, we will be in darkness and unable to see. In addition, plants will not be able to grow properly. Section 2. Light is energy in waves. From that section, the most important points for you to know is that light is energy that travels in waves, just like all other forms of energy that comes from the sun. The sun produces energy that we can see, called visible light, as well as energy that we feel, such as infrared and ultraviolet waves. Too much of either of these types can be harmful to your skin. Waves come in different lengths. Look at the diagram below. It shows that radio waves are the longest waves and X-rays are one of the shortest. To measure wavelength of any wave, measure from crest to crest or trough to trough. Section 3. Light waves travel in straight lines. The most important points from that section are that light waves travel in straight lines until certain types of matter either reflect or refract them. When light hits an object and can't go through it, some of it will be absorbed and some will be reflected. This will create a shadow. The Egyptians used the idea of a shadow to tell the time of day. They used the shadow from a sundial to determine the time of day it was because they didn't have clocks. The important facts from Section 4, an eclipse is a shadow, is that a solar eclipse occurs when the moon moves between the earth and the sun, preventing light from reaching the earth, much like you do when you get in the way of the sun and the earth and it casts a shadow on the ground. This blockage casts a shadow on earth. The parts of the earth not getting any light is the umbra. Other parts get part light and part shadow, which is called the penumbra. The important facts from Section 5, when light hits a substance, are that three things can happen when light waves hit a substance. The light waves can be reflected, absorbed, or refracted. Light that passes through a transparent substance is refracted or bent. Plants need to absorb and reflect light waves in order to have healthy plant growth. In other words, plants need to absorb light waves and change the light into sugar for healthy plant growth. Light that bounces off a substance is being reflected. Substances that reflect light also absorb some of that light before it gets reflected. Important facts from Section 6, light has many wavelengths, is that light we can see is visible light. Remember though that visible light is only one part of the electromagnetic spectrum, but it is the only part that we can see. There are other parts of the electromagnetic spectrum like radio waves, microwaves, TV waves, gamma rays, X-rays, etc., etc. But visible light is the only part of the spectrum that we can see. This visible light comes in different wavelengths. Red has the longest wavelength, yellow has the medium wavelength, and violet has the shortest wavelengths. Section 7. A prism separates white light. Using a prism is one way to refract white light. That means that white light goes in the prism and is bent at different wavelengths and comes out as colors. A prism is a piece of clear glass or plastic that refracts white light at different wavelengths. This refraction of light creates the colors of the rainbow. Objects placed in water are refracted to make the object look like it is bent or cut into two pieces. Also, rainbows are made when drops of water bend sunlight. Section 8. We can bend light with a lens. Pieces of glass in different shapes are called lenses, which can bend light. There are two types of lenses, convex and concave. Convex, which is thick in the middle, bends light towards a point. This makes the object look larger. Concave, which is thinner in the middle, spreads the light waves out. As a result, the objects look smaller.